driving a motor vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay, so I require you to give me your details. If you don't, it is an arrestable offence.
Right, but am I on the highway?
Pardon?
Am I on the highway?
You've been driving this vehicle?
Yeah, but am I on the highway
You've been driving
now?
this vehicle?
Welcome to Rate the Audits, where we put misconduct on display, explore police and legal content, protect rights, and demand accountability. This episode is brought to us by Auditor Brett Chamberlain. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Auditor Brett finally delivers us a winning coin audit, fueling over £200 at Shell and filling up several jerry cans before attempting to pay with Royal Mint coins. Completely lawful tender. Staff refuse the payment and call the police. What happens next is shocking. The officer arrives shouting private information, breaking protocol, and exposing just how badly trained she is. Brett stays calm, schools her on the law, and walks away victorious. Coins not returned to him. Shell and the cops humiliated. Before we get into today's video, I've got to give a huge shout out to T and Stewart for supporting my work by joining RT Extra. In today's day and age, when our freedoms are constantly under attack and authority is pushing harder than ever, it's vital that we stand together. By joining RTA Extra, you're not just unlocking exclusive bonus content, you're directly supporting this mission and helping me keep fighting for the public's voice to be heard. If you'd like to support too, hit that join button below. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now let's get into the video.
Did my colleague get your name?
Yeah, you got my first name.
Do you mind if I take your first name? Is that okay?
What's your name and number then?
My name 2928 is PC Lee.
PC Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your name?
Well, I'm not prepared to divulge it in front of people that aren't police.
Okay. Well, I can ask that gentleman to step away if that's all right.
Yeah. Right. So what? Under what act are you asking for more details?
It's because we've been called today.
Yeah.
Okay. Anytime we get called to an incident,
yeah,
we like to get your name.
Yeah. What section of which act are you requiring my name?
I'm not saying it's under any act. You don't have to give your name to me today because you haven't committed an offence.
No.
But it's just for our records.
Yeah.
So would you be prepared to give me your name?
No.
No? Okay, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to make a note of your car registration.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, is that alright?
Yeah.
So all we're doing at the minute, obviously there's been a bit of confusion over the coins.
Yeah.
Turns out that, as you said, they are legal tender, so
yeah,
so it's now down to the petrol station whether they accept them. So your vehicle has come back to either a Brett Chamberlain.
You shouldn't be saying this in front of the people.
They can't hear me.
Yeah, they can.
Do you want me to ask them to move away?
From the very start, the officer completely fumbles the basics of good policing. Instead of staying calm and figuring out what's actually happened, she dives straight into fishing for Brett's name. When he rightfully refuses, she runs his number plate and loudly blurts out, "Your vehicle's come back to a Brett Chamberlain," right in front of Shell staff. That's not policing, that's public doxing. Brett instantly calls her out, forcing her to move the conversation away from everyone listening, and he's absolutely right to do so. Officers have a duty to protect personal information, not shout it across a forecourt like gossip. What she did wasn't just unprofessional. It was a complete disregard for data protection and officer conduct.
You shouldn't divulge my personal details that you've got for Police National Computer.
I wasn't divulging them to them.
Well, you were. You were speaking loud enough voice that they would have heard.
Well, they're not.
Right. Okay. Go on then.
So, a Brett Chamberlain.
Right.
What was your name?
Which section, which act you requiring me to give my name?
Road Traffic Act. You're driving a motor vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, so I require you to give me your details. If you don't, it is an arrestable offence.
Right, but am I on the highway?
Pardon?
Am I on the highway?
You've been driving this vehicle.
Yeah, but am I on the highway now?
You've been driving this vehicle.
But am I on the highway now?
Can you just give me your details, please, and then we can get this sorted?
Am I on the highway?
So what
yeah, but I'm asking a question. Am I on the highway?
You're not on a highway right now, but you have been on a highway.
Yeah, so you could have requested my details when I was on the highway, but now I'm not on the highway. You can't, can you?
I can.
You could wait until I leave, and then you could pull me over.
Under the Road Traffic Act, I can request your details.
Yeah, only on the highway, but not...
Can you just give me your details, please?
This is where the officer's understanding of the Road Traffic Act completely falls apart. Moments earlier, she openly admitted that no offense had been committed. Yet now, she's trying to demand Brett's details under traffic powers that only apply when an offense has taken place. The contradiction is glaring. The Road Traffic Act allows officers to request driver information only when someone is driving or in charge of a vehicle on a public highway at the time of an alleged offense. Brett was parked on a private forecourt, well outside that scope. What this really exposes is a complete lack of proportionality. There's no crime, no threat, no disturbance, Yet she's escalating as if this is a major investigation. A competent officer would have de-escalated, clarified the facts with the store, and moved on.
Look, this is all about rights, okay? Now,
Yeah,
I've got a right not to give you my details unless I have committed an offence. Right, the Road Traffic Act it is referring to vehicles on the highway, not on private property. So, if you're saying that I have to give you my details under the Road Traffic Act and I'm not on a highway, then you're infringing on my rights. Do you think I should provide my details on private forecourt?
Yes, I believe you should.
Because of the Road Traffic Act?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Why is that then?
Are you going to provide me
No,
your
I'm
details?
just asking you these questions. I may well provide my details, but you have to articulate the law as to why.
Under the Road Traffic Act.
Yeah.
Okay. You have used a highway to get here today, have you not?
That's not the point, though, is it?
You have used a highway to get here today. Under
Yeah,
the
I
Road
have.
Traffic Act.
Yeah.
Okay. I can ask you to give your details.
So, in other words, you could knock on my front door. My car's on my drive. And you could say, under the Road Traffic Act, I want your details, and you must have been on the highway in your car.
You would be in your vehicle, would you?
Doesn't make sense.
You wouldn't be sat in your vehicle.
It doesn't matter though, does it?
She clings to the Road Traffic Act like it's a catch-all power, claiming that because Brett used the highway to get there, she can now demand his details. But that's not how the law works. Powers under the Road Traffic Act 1988, Section 172, only apply when a driver is suspected of committing a specific traffic offense while on a road or public place. Simply having used the highway earlier doesn't magically keep you under police authority once you're parked somewhere else. Brett's example about his car being on his driveway was spot on. If what she said were true, an officer could turn up at anyone's house, see them sitting in their car, and demand their personal details because they once used the road. It's absurd and completely unlawful.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bit of a break, right? So, I reckon if I was parked in the car park, yeah, then I wouldn't have to provide my details. But because there's a way in and a way out, that means in law, in case law, it's an extension of the highway.
Okay.
And on that basis, I'll provide my details.
Would you like to give me your date of birth?
I can give you my driving licence because you. First of all, which section, which act?
Would you like to give me your driving licence?
No, which section, which
Under
act?
the Road Traffic Act.
Yeah, what section?
I'm asking you for your driving licence.
Yeah, which section, which
Can you
act?
just give me your driving licence?
You don't know it, do you?
There you go, 163.
That requires me to stop. If a police officer asks me to stop, but which...
And to give your details, sir.
No, that's another act. Go on, which sections...
I'd have to check, sir.
Do you want me to tell you? 164.
164.
That's it, very good.
There we go.
Right, so
This moment is brutal. Brett completely schools the officer with her own legislation. Before handing over his license, he simply asks, "Under what section of the Road Traffic Act?" Panic sets in instantly. Her colleague jumps in with Section 163. But Brett shuts it down. Section 163 only gives police the power to make a driver stop a vehicle on a public road. Nothing more. It doesn't cover demanding personal details or a license after the fact. The correct law, as Brett explains, is Section 164 of the Road Traffic Act 1988, which deals with the production of a driving license, not the authority to stop or question someone without cause. It's a basic distinction any trained officer should know. Yet she and her colleagues stumble over it like recruits in their first week.
They're trying to give you your money back.
it's not my money, it's their money.
They're
It's
not
my
accepting
payment.
your money. Pardon?
It's my payment.
They're not accepting it as payment. Are you accepting them giving your money back?
No.
Okay, well they're not accepting your payment then. So
Okay, yeah.
you're still going to be... Wait for that to go past. You're still going to be charged for the payment.
Yep.
At a later date. Okay, they've got your car registration.
Yep.
They're going to forward it on to that. They can get your details from your car registration.
Yep.
They're going to forward that on to their head office, and
Yep.
you will be chased for payment later on. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, whatever, yeah. I don't...
Are you going to accept your money back?
It's not my money, it's their money. It's also the Queen's money, actually.
Are you going to accept the Queen's money back?
No.
What do you want them to do with it then?
Put it in the till and accept payment.
Well, that's not going to be accepted as payment, so I think you may as well just take it back.
Yeah.
Because what's that?
I'm not taking it back.
£200? More than that?
240...
Pardon?
£248.83.
Yeah, I think you may as well take that back.
No, I
You're
don't
going to be
think
out
so.
of pocket otherwise.
I'm not going to be out of pocket.
Pardon?
I won't be out of pocket. I've paid for my fuel with cash, with legal tender.
This is where the officer completely abandons her role as an impartial enforcer of the law and slips into acting like Shell's personal representative. She knows this is a civil dispute, yet she openly takes the business's side, pushing Brett to just take his money back, instead of respecting his legal right to insist on paying with lawful tender. A police officer's job is to maintain order and uphold the law, not to pressure a citizen into doing what's most convenient for a corporation. When Brett tells her the amount, £248, she replies, "Yeah, I think you should take that back, as if her personal opinion carries any authority. It's patronizing, unprofessional, and exposes how little she understands the boundaries of her role.
All I'm doing is advising you, okay?
Yeah.
Like I say, this is a civil matter.
Yeah.
I can just give you advice to take the money back.
Right.
If you don't want to, fair enough. But just to let you know, they're going to raise it with their head office.
Yeah.
And their head office will be in touch, okay?
Yeah, okay then.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Have you got any further questions or not?
No.
They would like your details. Are you willing to give them your details?
No, they're private.
Pardon?
They're private.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, they've got my registration number, haven't they?
They've got your registration, but it's just whether you wanted to comply with them and give them your details, okay? I'll let them know that you're not giving them your details, and what would you like them to do with the money?
Well, it's up to them to do what they want with it. Obviously, it's payment, so...
Well, they're not accepting it as payment, okay?
Yeah, but obviously they may well get legal advice, and the legal advice might tell them that that they need to accept it, and therefore, if they've given me the money back, then they've got no way to recover the money, then, have they? Because
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that if they did give it back, there would be no recourse in law to recover the funds later on. So I'm doing them a favour by saying, look, you hang on to it, it's payment for my fuel. I'm not a fuel thief.
In simpler terms, what Brett is saying is pure common sense backed by solid legal reasoning. He's not refusing to pay. He's protecting both sides from making a bigger mistake, by leaving the money with them. He keeps the transaction open and preserves proof that he made a lawful offer of payment. If Shell later receive proper legal advice and realize they were wrong to refuse the Royal Mint coins, the payment is already in their possession and can be accepted without issue. But if Brett were to take it back, that offer would be gone, and there'd be no legal way for him to prove payment was tendered. It's a level of thinking you rarely see in these encounters. Brett isn't being difficult, he's being smart.
If they then pursue a civil matter and it comes back that it doesn't go in your favour, then you're going to be out of pocket. That's all I'm thinking. If you still have to pay for the fuel again...
How am I going to be out of pocket? Because what would have happened to the money that I've given them?
Pardon?
I've given them the money, haven't I? So how can I be out of pocket?
Okay, so you're not accepting the money, no?
No.
Okay.
Have you got your body-worn camera on?
Yeah, there.
Oh, so you didn't tell me about that either, did you?
Is there?
Yeah, but no, in the policy it says that you need to advise somebody. In fact, everything that's happened up until this point is not admissible in court because you didn't...
I can't hear you.
I said everything that's happened on that camera is not admissible in court because you failed to advise me that you were recording. In the policy, your policy...
What section is that? What policy is that?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay,
I'll tell you what, loads of people on YouTube will get back to you on that, so if you just look up this video, they'll explain the police's own...
That's perfect. I don't tend to watch police videos on YouTube.
No, you obviously didn't listen either when you were being instructed that you need to advise members of the public at the earliest opportunity that you're video recording them for evidence.
Like I say, what part of policy is that?
When Brett asks if her body-worn camera is on, she confirms it, but fails to realize she's already made a mistake. Under College of Policing operational guidance, officers must clearly inform people as soon as recording starts, unless there's a genuine operational reason not to. She didn't. That's exactly why Brett tells her the footage wouldn't even be admissible in court. He's right. Evidence gathered without proper notification or adherence to policy can be challenged for procedural non-compliance, especially when it affects fairness or transparency.
Have you got any evidence guys in their car just for the money when you're taking by the car?
Yeah. All right, I'm off then.
No worries, see you later.
Brett ends this exactly how every auditor dreams of: calm, in control and victorious. After all the arguing, threats and clueless policing, he simply says he's off because he's already won. He stood his ground, didn't cave to pressure, and crucially, paid with his Royal Mint coins just as the law allows. In the comments under his video, Brett confirms it himself. He never heard from Shell again. That silence speaks volumes. It almost certainly means the company accepted his payment after getting proper legal advice. They knew they couldn't win. It's a massive win. Not just for Brett, but for anyone fighting to keep cash and legal tender recognized and respected. What makes this encounter stand out is how easily it could have gone the other way, and how Brett's calm knowledge of the law stopped it from spiraling. Most people, faced with uniformed pressure, would have backed down just to avoid trouble. Brett didn't. And that difference between knowing your rights and standing by them is exactly why he walked away the winner. The officer's behavior is a masterclass in what happens when authority replaces understanding. From misquoting the Road Traffic Act to siding with a business in a civil matter, she forgot the one rule that should guide every officer: stay impartial. Her job wasn't to pick a side. It was to uphold the law. This whole episode shows why auditors like Brett matter. They're not there to cause trouble. They're there to expose it. From her failure to announce her body cam to her lack of knowledge on payment law, this encounter highlights how fragile trust in policing becomes when basic professionalism is missing. And in the end, Brett didn't need to argue, shout, or escalate. He let the facts and his composure do the work. One officer's ignorance turned into a national lesson on cash rights, legal tender, and why standing firm on the truth still matters. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue my independent coverage. Be sure to check out Brett Chamberlain's channel, linked in the description, and show him some love. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audits, and I'll see you in the next one.